Well, the government shutdown has ended now. The longest shutdown that we've had in United States history. And the Democrats that held everything out have caved, right? So we, at the current moment, what we do know is that, the Democrats held everything out for almost 2 months now, right? And every single thing that they asked for, over and over again, health care, right? Americans' health care that is going to expire at the end of the year, that was at the forefront of every single argument that you could possibly imagine. And then seemingly...
What did they get?
You tell me. Nothing. What did they get?
Yeah, it sounds like they didn't get anything. And
they got a kiss and a promise.
A promise that we both know, and hopefully the rest of the world knows, is not going to go anywhere based on Speaker Mike Johnson's reaction to that. It's just terrible. And the fact that the Democrats fought for so long and held the line for so long, even with the support of American citizens, even though that they were starving and not knowing where their next paycheck was coming from, they were encouraging the Democrat leaders to fight, and they just gave up.
Well, Americans still are starving. That's not going to change.
Yes.
But do you think that, do you see any possibility that at all this healthcare crisis is going to be solved by that time? Again, there's a good faith vote that's demanded right before the new year, but is there any actual pathway that you see to any kind of concessions from the Republican Party? Right, the GOP is in control. They have the Senate, they have the Congress. President Trump is President Trump, right?
Yes.
So, do you see any concessions that they're actually willing to give, or is this just we'll talk to you later? Like a high school breakup with your girlfriend?
There are no concessions. One, and I think the biggest reason is these Republican leaders, the fear that they have of Donald Trump and what could happen to them if they go against him. Those with seats that are coming up, they're afraid to get primaried. They just don't want to be on Donald Trump's bad side because they know and they've seen how Donald Trump's influence could destroy their political career.
Well, you mentioned the vote, and of the Democrats that actually did vote in the Senate to reopen the government, right? Obviously, you had 3 people that were already on that side of things,
yes.
But there were 5 more Democratic leaders that shifted sides, right? So do you think that they're just kind of bending the knee? Or is it something that they see an end to healthcare crisis? We've got a healthcare crisis that is impending. Mm-hmm. Millions of people are going to be impacted, and the Democratic Party now has almost entirely held firm, but you got these 5 people that lead the Senate to, once you get that Senate vote, Congress and obviously the executive branch are going to be 2 different
and it's just
cans of worms.
I really would like to know what's going on inside their minds, because they have to know that the Republicans aren't going to budge on anything, especially the fact that they already caved. There's no reason for the Republicans...
They know they're going to keep caving now.
Yeah.
They've lost their only...
And basically what's happening right now is the can has been kicked down the road until, the end of January we were talking about earlier?
January 30th.
January 30th.
Yeah.
Talk about January. You got January 6th, January 30th. The can has been kicked down the road. This is going to come up, and the Democrats are going to go, well, what about, the subsidies, the ACA subsidies? And the Republicans are going to laugh at them. You guys already gave that up, so there's no reason to talk about this. And
exactly.
That's the sad part.
There was that one the Democrats had one thing that they could hold on to. They had one little piece of leverage, and after holding millions of people really hostage, all of a sudden, just, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Then why have I been starving for 2 months?
All for naught.
Why? What did we get? Do we win? No, sorry, you lost. You just made the worst pick in NFL draft history.
Yes.
Essentially, right? You think you win, you lose. There's really no it's all concessions for the Democrats. There's no
That's all it is.
absolute guarantees, which is definitely going to be a problem. That as we move forward, I mean, we can speculate how December's going to go. We can speculate how January's going to go, but we know how they're both going to go. I mean, at the end of the day, the Democrats they're not in the driver's seat right now, and they're one time that they could be.
But they have a promise.
Oh, good.
There's a promise.
Do you feel good? Are you going to eat?
There's hope. There's a promise there, Collin.
I'm 25 years old. I just got engaged this week, and
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. But I don't have a promise that I'm going to be able to eat in a year. I'm starting out my life, right? I'm 25. I fortunately am in the role that I can begin my life with the person that I love. But there's a lot of people that are in that exact same boat that are just looking at everything, saying, "Okay, Mom, what's for dinner?"
Exactly.
kind of a situation. And we can joke about that, but that is reality right now in America. It's not getting better. Obviously, now we have the tariffs that have been speculated on, and
nice segue.
And in and out and back and forth there. Oh boy, the American consumer right now is struggling, to say the least. They're struggling.
So here's a question.
I'm struggling.
Here's a question. Do the American people, do you guys actually understand tariffs and how they work? And if not, we can explain to you guys, a 10,000-foot view of how tariffs work.
Yep. I mean, when this is great too with Argentina. When you have American-grown workers, specifically in this case, let's use farmers for example, right? Donald Trump did campaign largely off of, we're going to help American farmers. We're going to grow beef here, right? We're going to grow chicken, everything here domestically. There are going to be no imports, right? When we add on the tariffs to raise the prices on those kinds of products from external states and bring them into our own country, that eliminates the need for American-grown farmers. So the tariffs, right, what the tariffs do is it raises the price. Okay, now it's cheaper to buy American beef. Well, what happens when American beef is already so high? Because there is natural things that happen, right, with shortages, with famine, right, and with less farmers being able to actually survive doing this. Okay, well, now that other beef with the tariffs seems cheaper, which Donald Trump campaigned off helping the American farmer, and now all of a sudden, Argentinian beef is one of the biggest conversations that we've had this last, month or two or so? I mean, we're now bringing in cattle and the actual cut beef as well from other countries, and American farmers make zero. There's no money to be made. The tariffs that are being paid just raises that even more. And now when they have, you have less consumer needs, same product there, cost is going to go up, right? You don't have as much. You're now bringing it from other places that's going to be cheaper. Mm-hmm. American farmers make $0.
And what the people don't understand is when Trump puts a tariff on another country, let's just say widgets. He puts a 50% tariff. Does anybody know what a widget actually is? Puts a 50% tariff on widgets. And, the Trump supporters are like, yes, he's not letting these countries, take advantage of us anymore. He's going to make them pay and the money's going to come to us and all that. But what you have to understand is when he puts a tariff on a country's goods coming into this country, what happens is the buyers of that product that they're going to distribute to the rest of the country, the price tag goes to them. And those buyers have two choices. They can absorb the increased cost and just eat it, or they can put that extra cost into the price of that particular product. Yep. And a lot of companies, some of them are okay, we'll eat half of the cost, but the rest of it is going to go to the consumers. So we end up paying more because of these tariffs that Trump has, forced.
Do we have inflation? Sorry.
I heard.
Moderate, yeah.
Yeah, but according to Trump, inflation is down. We're the hottest country in the world. The economy is good.
Aruba, Jamaica.
Everybody wants to come and build companies here and do their business here, which we all know that's not true. All we have to do is do some research, people, and we'll see that.
Run.
So that's how tariffs work. It in the end it hurts us, and even federal judges and the Supreme Court, they're sitting there right now thinking and trying to decide if they need to put the brakes on Donald Trump and his just wayward implementation of tariffs on any other country, because they know that eventually it's hurting the regular Moes in this country. So
eventually it's already happened. You say put the brakes on, man, he wouldn't pass inspection at all at the place that I go with my cars.
Right.
I mean, jeez. It's just really crazy how unchecked it's been, and he is able to really spin everything just the way he wants. I call it like a political Ponzi scheme, almost, right? When you think about the way a Ponzi scheme works, right? Okay, you've got investors in your business, but you don't have the money to pay them back. So, okay, you have the appearance of we're looking great, right? Look at this. The White House is gold, right? And now,
oh man,
yeah, well, that's a whole different can of worms.
Well, yeah.
But we'll touch that in a second.
Yeah.
But you have that appearance that everything's going great, so you get more investors, right? And now they've got money, and you use that money to pay back the old investors. Well, to look at the Republican voters that were in the 2016 election, all right? They feel like the old investors. We know already that a lot of the things that Donald Trump promised were BS. Plain and simple, they were absolute BS. There's no way around it. And now we've had a Democratic presidency where, and I don't use Democratic in the terms that it should be used, but Democrat-led presidency, right, under Joe Biden. And same exact thing. Now we're in our second term, which is really just a 12-year hell that we've been sent through right now. And it feels like the voters that went for him the first time are the ones that are getting paid off, and the new ones that bought in are just, it's words in front of them every single minute they get. They'll just go, look, we're going to say the next great thing that's going to keep you with us. But, oh, by the way, no, we already solved this one tiny minuscule problem behind the scenes, 10 years ago. Like what?
And it's interesting how. And all politicians do it when they're campaigning.
That's not Republican or Democrat.
Right.
That is a political scheme.
They make all these campaign promises. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. But it just seems that Donald Trump's campaign promises are they're just so out of control and just so outrageous. He's going to end the Russian-Ukrainian war on day one. Really?
I ran for school, for class president in 5th grade, and I told everyone we were going to have 2 recesses, we were going to have free ice cream, and you know what? We got jack diddly squat, which is what we're dealing with in real life now. So,
and it's horrible that people buy into this, and he's talking about he's going to lower food prices on day one and all that, and the one time he was talking about the price of eggs and how. The price of eggs have gone down 400%. I don't need to have to ask you because you're an intelligent, educated man. So if the price of eggs have dropped 400%, that means
you're paying me.
Yeah,
I'll take them. Great. Yeah, give me the free eggs and some cash.
I'll give you $10 to take this dozen of eggs. And the sad part is a lot of his undereducated followers, they actually believe that. And he will say anything to get their vote, which he did. And, it's just really sad that they're just buying into this and just believing anything he says. So it's just like, what he's doing lately, with trying to keep everybody distracted from one of the most important things that are going on right now, and I'm talking about the Epstein files. He
definitely distracts. I mean, he uses the same way he distracts from his actual political agenda and gets people that are just listening to his rhetoric, right? Same thing with the Epstein files now. I mean, he is completely. We came out and not we, but the Republicans and Democrats both came out and had things that had Trump's name in them. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, what's the first thing that happens? Oh, well, Pam Bondi's out there just saying, oh, no. This is just a distraction from the liberal media,
But let us not forget.
He was in the room.
She had the Epstein files on her desk. She just hadn't gone through them yet.
She had already. Oh, she didn't go through them? She knew. She knew from the start.
Of course she knew.
Come on.
And like we were saying, the things that he does to kind of, pull your attention away from the Epstein files with, he has these frivolous lawsuits against, Eric Swalwell, Democratic, representative from California. He's the latest one to join the Trump revenge list.
The Trump revenge list is ever-growing one.
He's asked the DOJ to, he's referred to DOJ to open an investigation against Swalwell for possible mortgage fraud. One, because Swalwell has been one of the most powerful critic against Trump. And Eric Swalwell, let's not forget, he still has an open lawsuit against Trump. So Trump added him to the list. We're talking about James Comey. We're talking about Letitia James. These are all the little distractions that, when we're so focused on the Epstein files, and it's a bipartisan thing, they want these files released.
Talk about a witch hunt.
Yeah, it's a hoax too.
Talk about a witch hunt.
Based on him, it's a hoax. The things that he's doing, the frivolous lawsuits, the possible invasion of Venezuela.
Hey, I missed an easy pass payment back when I was 17 years old. Full disclosure there, and I feel like that's something that he would bring up if I were to run against him.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Would.
Oh, wait, what do you mean you were in New Jersey in July of 2017? I don't remember being there, sir. I'm sorry. That's the exact same kind of thing that he's really applying across the board. Now, Venezuela obviously is a new can of worms that he is trying to distract from because, oh my Lord, this is not 1942. This is the real news of the United States. We have a warship on its way to Venezuela right now. And they are preparing themselves. Actual news.
The USS Gerald Ford, which is the largest and the most powerful aircraft carrier in the United States arsenal.
So no big deal.
Yeah, they're sending the Ford and its carrier battle group, which I think it's somewhere around 7 ships, to Venezuela.
Those guys are good.
Yeah, Venezuela is not that big, and yes, Venezuela, right there on the map.
See the tiny one? That little, the warship.
Yeah, sending the most powerful warship that we have to Venezuela. For what?
America.
He keeps on saying that, they're going after these drug terrorists. That's the new name, not drug cartels, drug terrorists, to make our country safe. And they've destroyed, I think it's somewhere around 8 small boats, which they claim.
Now we're looking at the dozens of people that now have lost their lives.
Yeah, and just to throw some stats out there, 99% of the fentanyl comes from Mexico.
Right up the southern border.
1%. Yep. 1% of the fentanyl that comes into this country comes from Venezuela. But
the bombs look pretty, don't they? Cartels have been so interwoven into a stream of both people and substances for, more than a century now, coming up through that southern border. And obviously, President Trump has said, let's build a wall. Let's build a wall. Let's build a wall. That's not going to...
That Mexico...
They use tunnels, all right? They learned. You're fine. But the fact of the matter is, we have all this coming through our actual land borders, and we're now bombing potentially innocent people, right?
Absolutely.
In waters. They could be out for a night. Oh, look at that island, looks great. Boom, done.
The U.S. military has destroyed 21 vessels as part of the newly announced Operation Southern Spear, alleging those vessels were funneling drugs from South America to the United States.
And that has been what's happened. We do have confirmed deaths. There's been dozens of people now that have been killed as a result of this. And the United States now has actually moved to kind of save any military men that have been a part of this from any kind of legal rapture afterwards, right? So there's no Nuremberg coming for them at all. If you're an American, military member or service member who has been a part of this, let's say you click the button that or pulled the trigger that sent the drone out. The United States has actually moved now to specifically help those guys just be.
I'm glad you said that, because
they're preemptively doing it, which means they know it's wrong, even though they're trying to defend it.
Trump's not going to be in there forever. Eventually,
that's what I'm worried about. There's going to be someone else behind him.
Yeah, we will recover at some point. I don't know how much we're going to be able to recover, or how much of the damage that's being caused can be repaired. But I am telling you, once the left gets back in control, there's going to be our version of the Nuremberg trials.
Well, okay, so
there has to be.
Well, speaking on that though, I mean, you look at the left and the Nuremberg trials, right? In that hindsight kind of trial, right, where they were doing everything that they believed in beforehand. Obviously, I would say right or wrong, but wrong. The left right now has their own little thing with the Epstein files. Right, so I mean, we could talk about Donald Trump being on that all day long, which is what all the news medias are going to cover, and that's not going to go away anytime. The President of the United States very clearly laid out between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine, but there are several members of the left, people that served under Clinton, people who served under President Obama.
Clinton himself.
Well, not to mention Billy. Yeah. I mean, there are people that are associated with the Epstein files, with that whole list. Do you legitimately think there's actually going to be backlash that comes through a legal situation? Obviously, politically, let's look. Well, it hasn't hurt Donald Trump before.
I don't think.
You can grab him by whatever.
as far as the Epstein files, but what Trump is doing now with democracy, there has to be some accountability.
Thereof, right?
Yeah, there has to be some accountability, and somebody, whether it's Jamie Raskin or whether it's Hakeem Jeffries, how long these guys hang around, they're gonna seek accountability for this. It's funny that you said that, because Trump has directed Pam Bondi and the DOJ to start looking into the connection between Epstein and Bill Clinton was named. And
is that like the lid on the can of worms?
Yeah.
That just screws himself
and
in the
he
end?
said other prominent Democratic people and financial institutions, which when Donald Trump says something or he talks badly about somebody, it's always this projection. Like, okay, I want you to look into Clinton. I want you to look into other Democrats and their financial institutions. He's basically telling on himself.
What do you mean I was in bed with that little girl? They scored that election.
He's telling on himself when he does stuff like that. And, whenever he says something, there's always something in his past that he has said to totally contradict himself. Prime example, the shutdown. Blaming the Democrats, all that nonsense. When, was it in 2016, I think he said?
It probably was. During the first presidential
it was before. Yeah.
The first campaign.
If there's a government shutdown, the blame is squarely on the president.
He specifically said that, I would imagine it's the president, at the end of the day, to keep everyone in line and figure that out. If you are in a prolonged shutdown, you probably have a weak president. That's not an exact quote, weak president, but that's essentially the exact same quote that you're talking about there, that exact same sentiment where this is clearly on one person. Now, at that time, he was talking about former President Obama and how, any issues with the economy were coming up, even though he inherited a much better economy than
he did.
The pandemic-riddled one that former President Biden inherited. So it's just, where's the line at some point between the lying and the truth and what people will believe? There's multiple lines, it feels like.
Totally blurred. The line is totally blurred. It's trying to get people to normalize this nonsense of his where the alternative truth is what it is. And
the alternative truth is one of the best ways you can put that. Legitimately, the alternative truth, because they make their own truth.
Yeah, and
not that it's actually factual, but they make their own truth.
And that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to get.
Completely separate narrative.
The American people to understand that I'm telling you this, so it's true. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes. When I tell you the sky is red, the sky is red. It doesn't matter if you look up and think to yourself, don't look up. The sky is blue. It's just, and the real, one of the biggest issues, Collin, is this legacy media. They're not calling him out on these lies. Every time he gets on camera, within the first 30 seconds, he's lying about something, and they're not calling him out. And that's why we
never checked, ever.
Right, and that's why we need more platforms like this. We can say whatever we want, and that's why we need more of you guys to pay attention to this and to actually do some research. And when you see these independent channels, subscribe to them, like them, comment on them.
We appreciate that as well.
Yeah, because when you hit the thumbs up on us, it affects the algorithm, and it makes more people aware that we're doing what we're doing. So we need that kind of support so that we can give you the truth. We're independent. We work for ourselves. So we need you guys to do that. Pay more attention to the independent media, and again, subscribe, like, and leave comments. That's the important part
about independent media is that whether you agree with us, you disagree with us, that doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is we are one of thousands of different shows, and we have obviously our opinions. We want to talk about them. We want to discuss both sides of everything, but there's a million other channels out there that you can also get different opinions on. And our whole goal here is not say, hey, Collin said this, Reuben said that. It's one more piece of information to help you make an informed decision when you go to the polls and when you're coming out and researching everything on your own. So that is what our goal is, and that's where we're going to go from there. We're going to keep talking, but
our goal is to just educate you guys and to get the truth out there. So again, when you see this, subscribe, give us the thumbs up, and leave us comments.
It does help.
And we do our own thing. And it's important that we do that, and it's important to us that we give you the correct information.
We don't focus on right, left. We focus on right, wrong. That's really
perfect.
I
like that.
That's the way. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There's no right, left.
I
right,
pitched that a little while ago, but yeah.
Awesome. Stay focused on Epstein. Don't let him do like this. Hey, look over here, or look over here at this little shiny object. The Epstein files. The Epstein files. And don't be afraid. Be educated. If not for anybody else, for yourself.
Obviously, Mamdani took over, right? Socialist Mamdani, even though Donald Trump has clearly gone back on his own socialist policies and trying to give away money to frickin' everyone without any money to give. We're using tariffs now to fund everything. Tariffs! Except for the fact that the actual money that he's promised is about 3 times more than the money the tariffs are bringing in. That's a real statistic, and it is not getting better.
Let me know when you get your $2,000 check.
A $2,000 check that would also be almost $1 trillion over for everyone. And
remember that.
he loves to promise stuff. We know that. He loves to promise stuff. And over the last couple of weeks, every single time he gets in front of the camera, he's just promising more money to other people without getting money back in. I don't know about you. My taxes already suck. But I'm not paying any more for this $2,000 check. I mean, I'll take it. If the government, if Uncle Sam himself falls down from the heavens and hands me a $2,000 check, I'll take it. Yeah. I'm not going to be mad about it. But at the same time, where's the money coming from? And this is another one of those things that it plays off that distraction that you were talking about, right? Oh, everything's happening here, but look here. A kind of a mentality. And so, okay, people are paying too much for beef and eggs and everything.
Well, not eggs. Not eggs. Because eggs are down 400%. So we're getting paid to take eggs. But yeah, the beef, yes. So
don't have a pet chicken.
Anyway.
But we are paying more at essentially everything. And now we have someone who's also saying, okay, well, we're going to give you money. We're going to give you more money after that. And hey, it's not really that bad.
We'll see.
We'll see is the most optimistic turn on that I've ever heard.
Stay tuned, people.
Because right now, I mean, I work with several people that are in their early 20s, right, that are now out of college. They have college degrees. They are now living in the Philadelphia suburbs and everything on their own. And they just lost essential SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
But now Donald Trump's kind of saying, no, look here, we're giving everyone $2,000
And now a word from our newest sponsor, the Bolshevik Watch Company. No one wants to be late to the revolution. And with a beautiful timepiece from the Bolshevik Watch Company, you'll be first on your block to show up in style. Whether it's the Marx with Carl and Groucho or the Lenin rockin' with Vlad and John, you've got to get there on time. The revolution waits for no one. So remember, Bolshevik, it's time to revolt.
Bolshevik watches.
We're trying to get out there, and make people aware of it and give them a quick rundown on
These are kind of cool. We actually have two different versions, right? So if you feel like you're living in Bolshevik Russia, guess what? You are.
You got anything before we wrap it up?
It's America. We're going to talk about domestic issues. We're going to talk about international issues. Either way, we've got you covered. If something big happens, that's what we're here for. So we will keep you updated on everything with AT News. This has been the Observatory with Reuben right here.
And Collin right there.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.